One. Hello, everybody. It's your girl Weebo, and it's Polly the Otter as well. Say hi, Polly.
Hello.
And we are a little bit late, and it is entirely my fault because of my bartending gig, which happens. And it seems like we're gonna have to shift the show day from Sunday to Saturday, right? Right, Polly? We agreed on that. Okay.
This is what I've heard. Yes.
Mainly because I will be working on every other Sunday now as a result, and because of that, right, it's going to be a little bit difficult to get here at like the 7 o'clock time period that I so love, unfortunately. So we're shifting it to Saturday instead, and I don't care whose toes I step on. Polly, you don't mind, do you?
Stepping on motherfuckers' toes? Not at all.
Okay, good. Yeah, because I don't like doing these super late because then everyone goes to bed, and that is deeply unfortunate for me.
Well,
I need attention.
Well, it's kind of that way, but then again, like the Aussies are always up. That's why they're a great bunch.
That's fair. That is true. I do enjoy the Aussies a great deal. So I see we have Abaddon the Despoiler and Lion Patriot, TOS, Evil Potato, De La Haze, Jim Beam, all in the chat. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us this fine Sunday evening. I apologize for the delay, and that has been explained as of why that is the case. Those freaking... I couldn't close up the bar when I wanted to, like, an hour and a half ago, because part of my closing responsibility is locking up, and I can't do that if some of the responsibilities of the other employees aren't quite finished yet, because they don't have keys. So they need to finish their jobs before I can finish my job, because it's my job to lock up, unfortunately. But yeah, we got there eventually in the end. It only took 30 minutes of sitting on my ass and waiting for them to get a move on, you know? It'd be like that, though. It'd be like that.
So how can't be trusted with the keys, and you can, you know.
That's true. I am a 22-year-old female. Wow, that came out of my face. Really weird. I am a 22-year-old female who graduated college, and as a result, can be trusted with responsibility and obligations, whereas they are 16-year-olds and whatnot. So yeah. Polly, how was your weekend?
It was all right. It was productive, oddly, despite it was productive despite an ongoing vertigo session and such. But I have moderately recovered, even though I am pseudoephedrine medicated right now, so you can only expect so much lucidity from me. But
that's fair.
And you know what goes good with pseudoephedrine? Hard cider.
Are you telling me that alcohol goes with drugs?
Pharmaceuticals.
Drugs. Drugs.
You know, you're attaching baggage to that word.
No, not. You're attaching baggage to that word. I just say it is drugs.
We're just... You're a hophead. I'm not implying anything.
I'm not implying anything. No, you're implying something. You're implying that I'm implying something. Hang on. Don't turn this around on me.
Daniel Fullman says you're the key master.
Yes, I am.
You know, you just implied you have a dick.
You want to see my keys? I have the keys.
I hope that's not a fucking euphemism.
No, I'm the key master for where it is that I work.
No, you know, keymaster, gatekeeper. You ever seen Ghostbusters?
No.
You've never seen Ghostbusters?
No.
Oh. Well, that explains why you didn't get that joke. But yeah, you should watch Ghostbusters.
I should watch Ghostbusters. Is this before or after the movie that we're supposed to watch next?
Well, you know what? We keep talking about movies that we're supposed to watch next and other things, and then I hear it's like, Lion Patriot will be like, oh, Weebo and I and a whole bunch watched random fuckery film. Like, I forget what the last one was that I heard you guys watched, and I'm like,
oh, it was Big Trouble in Little China.
Right. That's right. Yeah. Big Trouble in Little China. And it's like, we both got all these time for movies, and she got it's fine.
Do you want to schedule something? Let's schedule something right now, Polly.
Well, you know what?
Let's do it.
Chat, let me tell you something.
Oh, he's gonna tell you something, chat.
Well, just
Let me tell you something.
you got a song for it too?
Yeah.
Were you sipping shots behind the bar?
No, I'm not allowed
Okay.
to drink. That is illegal in my state. It's a drink on the job.
Doesn't slow people down anyway. So chat. Weebo is, as you know, quite the fetishist for her little schedule, her color-coded
Okay, yes, true.
Google Calendar. she was offended and then conciliatory. Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She loves her schedule. She loves scheduling things out. Jokingly refers to herself as having OCD over it. Okay. And so we scheduled something for a recording session for a video Friday night. And well, that didn't happen. And then scheduled something for a recording session. Well, the next night, last night. And well, that didn't happen. And then we scheduled something for tonight. And, well, that didn't happen.
I got pushed back. All right.
What do I get to hear? It's like, you want to schedule something? Let's schedule something. It's all right.
Well, see, okay. All right. I warned you about this last week, and then I said something about it like on Thursday or something, and I was like, we might have to push this back. I'm not 100% sure, and the reason why is because obviously, right, my work schedule is still getting sorted out, and that of course drives me up a wall. Because I had myself scheduled to be done at like 8-ish today. And that did not happen, unfortunately. That wasn't until like 9 o'clock that I got done, unfortunately. But that's just the way that is. So I am being proactive for next week in the event that we have issues, and I am scheduling us to stream on Saturday instead from like here on out.
You're being proactive. Perhaps
proactive.
You could put something else on your action item list, corporate speak lady.
Yes, I'm being proactive. And so in this, I am being proactive in scheduling us to do something this week as well. So here's the thing. When you asked me to do the thing this weekend, all right, you did so in the day that you wanted me to, which is a problem because I'm just like, the day of, I don't know if I can commit to that. But if it's many days out, I can make sure I can commit to that. Does it make sense?
Okay, what you said makes sense, but it doesn't make sense when you compare it to what actually happened. That's
okay.
I'm just saying this makes for poor stream chat. I'm not going to pull out the get the receipts out and go through DMs and show how well I asked and I said if you're available, and you said yes I am, and I said okay, well that's cool. Just let me know like around an hour or so or whatever beforehand so I can get all the materials together. And then cables snapped, crises happened, and then you DM me out of nowhere and say okay, let's do it. And I'm like, what? Wait. I said, you needed to let me know so I can get the materials together. Okay, well, hold on. Let me rush. And then by the time I got into voice chat with Weebo, you know what she sounded like, chat? She sounded like she had a pillow crushed up against her face and she was laying down.
I did.
See?
Okay, in my defense, it was what, Friday evening?
Yeah, that was Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was Friday. And when we were supposed to meet online to do the thing that you wanted to do, shit had in fact hit the fan. All right. I'm at the cabin in the woods, right? I have to explain this to the viewership because they have to understand exactly how crises this whole shenanigans went. All right. So I go down from dinner to lift the boat all the way up on the boat lift. And this involves a whole bunch of cabling and a wheel and, a boat defying gravity, a very heavy object, mind you. And I go to do it and I flip the switch just like for a millisecond before the cable frickin' snaps. The boat drops into the water and you can smell gasoline coming from the boat. Like, as my father, my uncle, and my stepmom are just running down the hill to see what the fuck just happened because it made a fucking loud smack as it hit the water.
As they were filled with sudden regret for letting the girl handle the mechanical problem.
Okay, that's never given me a problem before, mind you. All right, and a snapped cable is not unorthodox, although it is completely random. Like, I had nothing to actually... It was not my fault. it was the cable. It was pure random chance. It wasn't, no one could have done anything to prevent it. But yeah, I didn't even have time to scream before just large figures are hustling down the hill trying to see like if I'd been crushed by the boat. Because like that's a heavy ass
I'm
thing.
just breaking balls. See, listen, my overall point here is not that was a really well told story, by the way. That was really dramatic.
Thank you.
You forgot to add that it wasn't just no rope, it was a braided steel fucking coiled
Sorry.
cable. I mean,
it was a braided stainless steel cable.
Well,
about like yay big.
That makes it all the more impressive that motherfucker broke. It must have been loud as fuck.
It snapped and went. Scared the fuck out of me. I didn't even have a chance to scream, Polly. It was just so terrifying.
Yeah. See, my point is I tend to live life, footloose and fancy free and not bound by schedules and the like. And Weebo's the one who kind of judges me and makes me sort of feel guilty about this kind of stuff.
I make you feel guilty? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I was just giving you shit because that's what friends do, is they give each other shit.
You just defined passive aggressive, Did
I?
I didn't mean to give you shit. I just wanted you to feel a certain kind of way without having to explicitly do it.
No.
And then deny it later.
No. I intended to give you shit, but not to make you feel guilty about it. That was what I was getting at. You mixed it up.
My only thing is that mostly I just want to record this content. That's everything else is breaking balls. I just want to record the content. That's really
we can do it tonight after we get off if you desperately so want to do it as fast as possible, because I'm in a good mood and I'm awake and you have me like in front of you anyway. So after the show,
no, it's a chat. You guys are gonna love this video. It's topical.
Ooh, yes.
Oh well, thank you, Evolved Potato, for the $1. Oh, isn't this a speaking of topical comment? You of all people can't complain about anyone with scheduling issues. Comic book curation starts at 10 p.m. Eastern. It has never been at 10 p.m. Eastern. Well, but what did I say? I'm not the scheduling guy.
There's nothing wrong with that, to be frank.
But Evolved Potato, I will point out, if you go to my channel right now and you look under the description of Comic Book Curation, you'll see that the 10 p.m. Eastern thing is no longer there.
And how long did it take for you to actually make that edit? I'm just curious.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. But
he pleads the fifth. Ladies and gentlemen, he is most certainly guilty.
I'm not inclined to answer that particular question at this time. But it's
dodge bullet. Woo!
Well, see, it actually relates to something we were incidentally talking about as the stream started, is stepping on toes. It's rough, man, because 10 p.m. Eastern puts it in the middle of Lords of the Night. But 11 is half an hour off of when Minions of the Zoo starts. And we tend to start like sometime like slightly after 11 anyway. Just kind of like, bit the bullet and say, okay, fuck it, 11 Eastern it's a better time because it's not in the middle of Lords of the Night, because nobody wants to step on anyone's toes, supposedly. But Jesus Christ, it's so hard not to.
Honestly,
like that's the rough part. You can unintentionally do it all the time. I mean, I'm in the middle of streams and people will say monkey streaming right now. My response is always the same. When isn't he? It's and I don't want to step on Minions of the Zoo. Fuck Minions. That's the crew right there. I don't want to,
as an honorary minion.
Yeah. So it's, I don't want to stream it. And then there's times last whatchamacallit that I did last Noir Bar, fucking AP was streaming, and I'm like, God damn it. And it's like, I don't really think that there's partially I just wanted to watch AP's blunt stream. It wasn't stepping on toes. It's just like, I think I'd rather be watching AP stream right now. Can't I just set this back? And it's like, but I was already set up for Noir Bar. I was just like, why don't I just delay it for the hour so I can go watch AP? But here's the point. There's only so many hours in a day. You're going to put on a stream. You're going to step on someone's toes. It's literally unavoidable. So
honestly, yeah, no, I don't even worry about it. Don't. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
So I finally got chat up.
Yeah.
I was waiting for your notification to come through, and it didn't. So I had to go to your channel, and then there we go. Bringing up chat. Oh fuck! I keep forgetting. Live comments are available in the fucking back end here. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just can't respond as a guest in StreamYards.
I'm sorry.
No, but I mean, at least I could have read them. So I just want to see who was all here. Oh, Angry Illinoisian's here, Cynic's here, Six is here, Della Hayes, and Daniel Fullman, and all these people. This is great.
My regulars, you guys are basically like my bar people. Like my bar regulars. I'm a bar regulars, and then I have my stream regulars, and y'all make me so happy. Mercy. Okay. Speaking of YouTube and all of the frustrations that ensue from using said platform, I had such a bitchin' of a time uploading my video this week.
Okay. I know the travails of it generally. Yeah.
Well, because I think I articulated it to you, but I felt so bad because initially I wanted to get it out by Tuesday, but that wasn't going to happen because I had such a bitchin' of a time finding the actual movie to cut up and splice up into little pieces for the purposes of my usage. And then I found it and I got it. Thanks to I think it was De La Hayes. Yeah, I think that's who helped me. And I won't say how. But then I uploaded it on Thursday and went off to work thinking, oh, it'll be all right. Not a big deal. And then I got not just copyright claimed, but it was blocked in 75% of countries, which is a problem because the point of uploading to YouTube is to get views, right?
Right.
And so when I came home after work was over, I quickly ran it through Premiere and I edited it a little bit and I flipped the movie around, all of the movie clips around. I tinted them black and white and then I overlaid them with an opaque bubble loop video that I have on in the backlog of content that I have that I use as I don't know, just stock whatever. And it worked for about a day. And then that next morning I get a notification after I've woken up at noon or so.
Right.
Or maybe it was 2 days later. But I got a notification at noon telling me that it had been copyright struck again and blocked in 75 countries again. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So then I filed the dispute again. Oh, by the way, the original dispute for the original video, that was rejected. So I filed the second dispute because it was the same companies, and I didn't really have a lot of hope that it was going to, get through. So I uploaded a spare video as well, one that I had in the backlog of video content that was just collecting dust, essentially. It's a fan fiction review of the worst fan fiction I did ever see. And then it gets unclaimed and it's okay all of a sudden. So I'm having a hecket of a time figuring out what the logic is behind why you would maintain the claim initially and then not afterwards, because both are transformative. The only thing that I did was make it so that the content claim bot couldn't identify it as easily the second time. But apparently there are two different people with two different opinions on this matter having to go. Anyway,
it's a mystery, man. I was talking about that, your issues with that video twice, Eve and her stream getting pulled down. And then I started talking about it with them, and I'm the first guy to admit and have said repeatedly, I don't understand YouTube, guys. I don't get how this whole the whole thing. Tags, promotion, subs, that fuck. People who claim to get it are going on a leap of faith, yo. There's really
best estimation. Yes, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah, and best estimation. That's complimentary. I would love for someone to do a legit, real research project, and the way you do mining bibliographies to trace back everyone's sources all the way through.
Yeah,
I would love to see somebody do a trace back to find out where the fuck the original origin of the 10-minute video myth comes from.
Oh, you mean the 10-minute is what do you mean 10-minute
Well, if
like,
your video should be a minimum of 10 minutes to make it more successful in the algorithm, that is one of the algorithm variables. I don't know quite how to put it. Everyone says, make sure you upload daily content. Make sure your content is coming on at a consistent time, and make sure your videos are at least 10 minutes long.
see, I never heard the 10-minute thing for in terms of
What?
like
You've never heard
algorithm.
that?
Okay, let me explain. I've
Okay.
heard 10 minutes is ideal because that's when you can put more ads on it. Like you can put front end, back end, and mid roll ads on a video. And so that helps you in the algorithm in the sense that you get more ads. That means you get more views because YouTube wants to make more money, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So the more ads you can put on a video, obviously, the better it does. But I heard that the sweet spot in terms of views for time on a video is 7 minutes because that's the attention span of your average viewer, like for the watch time.
I've heard that psychological argument. That one makes more sense to me than this mythical 10 minutes. And when I say that, like through the algorithm argument that I just made, trust me, people repeat that over and over again, and it has all of the it smells like an old wives' tale at this point to me. You understand what I mean? Like something that's been repeated so often. Hang a clove of garlic around your neck when you're sick to get well sooner, like that kind of thing. I just don't buy it. And race, he says 10 minutes is too long for the ADHD generation. Proof positive. Look at TikTok. The new videos that I'm doing with the sort of like noir backgrounds and so on, and I clip, for those of you who saw a little rant I went on about artificial activity on networks, social media networks, to make them look more active than they really are. I took like a 3-minute clip of that and put that up. I'm going to be doing that more and more often. 3 and 5-minute videos, because that's all I got to say. If you have ever watched Jeremy from The Quartering, Jeremy Hambley, I love Jeremy. I really do. But his content has become more and more clickbait oriented, and he is the master that I know of for taking 2 minutes of content and stretching it over 10. All of his videos are 10 minutes, 30 seconds, 10 minutes, 45 seconds. You could see the strained effort to drag the material over that 10-minute mark, because there's that belief that I'm talking about, that somehow helps you in the algorithm. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. What I want to know as a trained researcher is, where the fuck did that come from?
I think that it just comes from the minimum for mid-roll ads is 10 minutes. That is the bare minimum, and that will get you the most amount of, moolah in terms of video revenue for ad. Although, you know what? Your idea kind of reminds me of an idea that I had that I wanted to take Weebo hot takes in the direction of, because it's been almost 6 Weebo hot takes, and each time I do a Weebo hot takes, I think to myself, oh, this could have made a really good mini like rant video or whatever.
Right.
Just to upload it to the channel with the same thing. I kind of want to start doing that with Weebo hot takes. So I think starting in July, I'll take the, time to actually split up those segments that I want to get into. Maybe, and just do personal like mini videos of Weebo hot takes for that month or whatever, and see how that works, because I think that would do a lot better than just one massive like, oh, here's an overview of the news from the month.
I hear you.
I think I'm gonna shift to that, because one, that gets me more views per video, which I'm hurting so bad. 2,
I'm hurting for the views. I need external affirmation.
I need more attention, all right? Do you understand? I am a female and I need attention. No, but the other thing is, too, is that would get more engagement on my channel in terms of the commentary that people bring in when it is that they want to, give their 2 cents on a topic. So the interaction would go up, but also the upload frequency would go up, which would definitely help me in the algorithm, because we know that people who upload more often than not, they are benefited more from the thing. But it would also help to segregate segments to their specific like topic, instead of just chunking them all together in one thing and hoping that the mass tags is gonna launch it to stardom. So I think that's what I'm going to do.
You know, you got to be more careful with your word choice, Weebo. You said hotcakes, and now half a chat's hungry.
I'm sorry. I thought I said hot takes. Did I actually say hot cakes?
Well, no, but
close?
Cynic started a rumor, and now everyone's thinking about hotcakes.
Cynic. We're trying to have a serious discussion here, sir.
Nuke Censorship says I played Jeremy and Tim Pool's videos at 175. Wow, dude.
Okay, I'm subscribed to the Quartering, but I can't finish the Quartering's videos either.
You know what is a good rule of thumb? If you like Jeremy, but you're not really happy with where it's at right now, I press play on one of his videos, like, and immediately just go to around the 2-minute mark on the slider and click go. And he might, mind you, have gotten to the topic by then. And if he hasn't, just keep clicking forward.
Well, do you have the there's an app that you can download? Oh wait, no, you don't use Google Chrome. I was gonna say there's a Chrome extension that you could use that allows you to fast forward like every 5 seconds, and then speed up and slow down things too.
It might work for Brave then too. One might think Brave is a Chromium-based browser, and I dig Brave.
Okay, well, you can go ahead and look for your extension, but I could just save you the trouble and be like, hey, on Chrome, this extension is called Video Speed.
No, Daniel Fulman, not Aunt Jemima Hotcakes. They're racist.
But yeah, it's been a good month for Weebo Hot Takes, and so I think I'm going to experiment with the concept of putting out, like, in the last 7 days, a Weebo Hot Take every single day. But I'm going to pre-produce them so that I have some content to dig around with. It's going to be interesting. We'll see.
Assassin of the Gray said something that caught my attention here. I'm just kind of scrolling back to where is it? Wow. I'm here having watched 2-hour-long amateur documentaries. Oh, dude. There's a big difference between long-form and short-form content. But I hear you. I watch a fuck ton of documentaries on YouTube, long-form interviews, and then long-form content in terms of uploaded documentaries that are probably copyrighted and shouldn't be on YouTube at all, yet here they are. And then amateur documentaries, and some of them are really fucking good. Some people just nail it, like Frederick Noonson comes to mind. His documentaries are technically amateur, but is good, comparable, if not better, than a lot of professionally made ones.
Wait,
he's the guy from Down the Rabbit Hole.
Polly.
Yeah.
Compliment me next on my Thought Patrol videos, because they're basically documentary long form-ish kind of content.
But let me tell you something. If you like Frederick Noonson,
God damn it,
there's no one that can beat Weebo Jones. See, she's got this Thought Patrol video series that's better than anyone else's content analysis. Yeah, you need to check that out. That's where it's at. No, but I do watch your videos. And actually, I caught your video. I saw it before it was taken down for the first time because I was still up at that hour. Don't ask why. Ooh. I have insomnia. It's fine.
Ooh.
So I did get to see it before it was taken down. So it wasn't taken down immediately.
Go, Polly.
Woo! But if it's short form, then make it short form is what it seems reasonable to me.
Yeah. If it's like not going to be covering more than 2 minutes worth of actual content, then make it 2 minutes of actual content and then just don't bother.
If you're trying to cover an incident, an event, like historical or political or financial, whatever it might be, and it's long enough to do like an hour and a half documentary out of because you want to cover the context, what preceded it, the thing itself, and then the aftermath. Yeah, that's a fuckload of stuff to go over. An hour and a half is completely justified. When you're just talking about an article that you read online and your take on it or why you think it's bad or good, or you want to amplify the material that's there, or supplement the material that's there that the writer didn't put in. I don't know, man. 10 minutes seems like a long stretch for that. And when someone's clicking on a 5-minute video or a 10-minute video and they find out there's only 3 minutes, I think that engenders a bitterness towards your bullshit, in my opinion. Maybe I'm just quick to judge. I don't know.
Life is too short for 10 minutes of the quartering rambling on about the same thing over and over and over again.
And
all right,
keep nailing the quartering. Lots of people are guilty of it. It's not like he's the only one. Just to say,
no, it's not. He's not the only one. Obviously, there are several other people that I could name. Shh, my cell phone is going off. That I could name, and you know exactly who I would be talking about. That just go on and on and on about the same topic to death, and then some.
Oh man, Deco just mentioned Defunct Land. It's a fucking great channel. You're absolutely right. If you guys haven't checked out Defunct Land that Deco was talking about, far turned me on to that. It's shut down amusement parks, basically, Weebo. And it's like, how could that possibly be interesting? It actually is in a big way. So this guy started, like a Knott's Berry Farm, like amusement park, and where did it all begin? And then tried to open other ones, and then why did they fail? And it's always funny to see the ghost town of the amusement park, how many Christmas lands opened and failed and stuff, and were at the really high watermark. They were successful for a while.
Okay, on that same thread, did you ever so you remember those little kids play places that you take your like niece or nephew to or whatever for a birthday party, because they were basically just like indoor theme parks for kids on a smaller scale, like Chuck E. Cheese or was it Dino Land? I think it was Dino Land. No, Zombie Teddy, I did not just call Polly out when I was talking about him going on and on and on about one subject. No, I was
Have you ever known Weebo to be reticent in calling me out on something?
I was actually thinking about someone else, but you know what? You make a valid point. Polly does have a tendency to repeat himself sometimes. It's okay. We forgive him. No, but okay. Do you remember? Did you ever frequent a Chuck E. Cheese and or a Dino Land in your youth at any point in time? Or it doesn't even have to be youth. All right, ball pits can be for everybody.
Yes,
they just shouldn't be for everybody. I have very strong opinions on ball pits. Very strong opinions. Like, for instance, in order to be able to use a ball pit, you have to be potty trained. All right.
Don't pee in the ball pit.
Don't pee in the ball pit. Don't poop in the ball pit either. Because you know how much of a pain in the ass it would probably be to clean every single one of those balls in the ball pit, and then the ball pit itself. And like, where do you store the balls that were in the ball pit that you now have to take out and clean individually because someone pooped and peed in the ball pit? And you know for a fact that they're probably not doing exactly the way that I just articulated them, how they should be cleaning the ball pit. Because that would be a fucking waste of time. And these corporations, there's a reason they've gone out of business. Because I think Chuck E. Cheese has filed bankruptcy or whatever. But they definitely will not scrounge up the OT cash in order to get people to clean the individual balls in the ball pit. All right. So they're just hosing that shit down and letting it air dry, probably. They're not sanitizing it to get the fecal matter out. They're not doing it. Where do you store the balls? Weebo Jones, 2020, says Ray Jacobson. Yeah. I did not get stuck in a ball pit as a child and nearly drowned. All right. It was a foam pit, and that's different because if you've ever been to like a gymnastics gym, they have birthday parties there too, and the foam pit is a lot more fun than the ball pit. Just saying. Just FYI. Sorry, that was a complete tangent that I just went on. But yeah, Polly, did you ever find yourself in a Chuck E. Cheese and or a Dino World? Dino
Sure.
Land? Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you have fond memories of these or no?
Yeah, they're all right.
No other opinion?
Was there a particular thing you were asking about?
I was just trying to spark some conversation. I thought maybe you had like strong opinions on ball pits like I did. But I see now that I was wrong. Okay, how about the Chuck E. Cheese mouse? Was he freaky too? Like,
oh yeah,
super freaky?
Definitely. Yeah, animatronic animals are freaky.
Which is why I don't get the Five Nights at Freddy hype. Like, at all. Have you ever played that game?
No, I don't know what that is.
It's basically like animatronic animals coming to life and trying to kill you at night in a video game format. But it doesn't just stop there, Polly. All right, because as with all things, Rule 34 applies in like excess to Five Nights at Freddy's or Friday Nights at 5. I fucking don't know. I never actually played it, but I've seen things. I've seen things that have given me pause and wonder at whether or not we should continue to exist as a species, Polly.
That bad, huh?
It was so bad. It was so bad. Ah. Weebo drinking game from Daniel Fullman. Shot every time she says balls. I'm gonna die of alcohol poisoning. How about we not kill my viewership? Thank you. Rich at Art says that you haven't seen The Sketch, Polly. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I was just actually responding to that right now.
Yeah. What about the Kilroy ball pit? Says Zombie Teddy. Oh, do you remember Kilroy?
Absolutely.
So much happened as a result of the failure that was Kilroy. And I just watched on in awe as it transpired in front of my very eyes. That was a disaster. Honestly, I've never planned events in my entire life before, but I could have planned that so much better. And it would have gone so much more swimmingly had I been head of the organizing and or calendaring committee. Just saying, FYI. All right.
Yeah, it was confusing as hell, considering especially the amount of donations and budget that they had to work with for
I know,
that particular event. It was a little crazy. Thank you. Next 6 minutes for the donation. Can't wait for you to see my art, bro. I would appreciate the critique. Anyhow, I hope your weekend was awesome and you did lots of badass otter things. Help this dude get a new potato and collect all the wins. When he produces merch, buy that merch.
So
thanks.
Polly, I have a question. Did you see that Mother's Day was trending today?
I didn't know.
So it was trending on Twitter today, and apparently people had taken issue with the fact that that was the case because, like, oh, you couldn't let the fathers have their one day. And I get it. I get it. Okay. Moms get a lot of credit, especially the single mom types, even though some of them shouldn't, just FYI. But they should get a lot of credit in the sense that, like, hey, raising a kid is not easy. Trust me, I was a kid once. I was a bitch. I was a difficult child. Props to my dad for raising me. But I can't condemn people for giving single moms credit on Father's Day and in the same breath give my dad credit for being a single father on Mother's Day, right? So, like, it's a two-way street in that respect. And this is traditionally where Polly has a comment or not.
The latter, it would seem.
Or not. Am I just coming up with dead-end topics here?
Is that what's happening?
I guess.
Why are you coming up with dead-end topics?
I don't know. Usually you have an opinion on things.
Me? No, I'm not opinionated.
Chat. X to doubt. Thank you the next 6 minutes for the donation over on the Streamlabs. Hot takes or hot cakes or whatever, as long as the humor and commentary are on point, it will have that supreme win. Speaking of win, check out this girl's merch story. It has that win. Beware of boats, snakes, and coworkers dragging feet. High five, sweet. Oh, he just reminded me of something. Polly, is there what one thing in the world are you most terrified of? Sorry, super deep question, but I gotta know.
Marxism.
Really? I was thinking like an irrational fear, like a phobia or whatever. Like, oh, are you terrified of spiders, or you have a burning hatred of weird holes in people's skin? What is it? Trectolophobia?
Exploding jihadis, then.
Okay, so you have a phobia of exploding jihadis. Well, mine is I have like a big phobia of snakes.
Really?
Yeah, terrified. Like
Oh, okay.
I have a distinctive memory of me being in second grade, going to the zoo, being taken to the reptile room, and being peer pressured to touch a snake as I'm sobbing uncontrollably as I'm petting the snake.
Wow.
It was so bad. I fucking hate all of the students in that second grade classroom. Anyway, so to tie this into what it is that is, pertinent to today's shenanigans, I saw my brother this weekend for Father's Day weekend because he decided to come down from school to visit me at the cabin in the woods while I was visiting with family at the cabin in the woods to celebrate Father's Day. And he's talking about his snake. He got a snake with his girlfriend in their house that they live in. And he knows I'm terrified of snakes. So what he did initially to kind of like get me in the know about the snake is he sent me a picture, an unsolicited snake picture. All right, I know how it sounds, but it was actually an actual snake. It was an actual snake. He sent me an unsolicited snake picture, and it terrified the fuck out of me initially because I was not expecting that. Because no one in my family is a lover of snakes. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. We do not. But he's going on and on about his snake and how it's a ball python. So it's like beginner level snake. It probably won't get the chance to eat you unless you're an infant or whatever and you don't feed it or something. But in the same breath that he's telling us that he's got a snake, he starts going into detail about this story about a woman who had I think it was a boa constrictor, like a big boy, like a big boy. And she treated him basically like it was her baby, to the point where she would sleep with him at night. And he'd lay next to her, all stretched out in a line, right next to her at night for several hours. And then he was super loving and this was according to her. But one night the same thing happens. The snake is sleeping next to her, she's sleeping next to the snake, and then the snake decides to constrict around her throat in the middle of the night, suffocate her to death, and then eat her. And she died. Whoa. And this is the same story that he's telling us as he's telling us that he got a snake, a ball python, mind you, a constrictor snake, the thing that does the thing with the wrapping and the suffocating and then the eating whole. and then as if he hadn't already sold me on the subject, he pulls up a video of a snake pooping and he shows it to me.
Did that ease your
Okay,
anxieties?
to be quite honest, it was I was curious because I've never seen a snake poop. I don't know where it comes out, but apparently it comes out the back end like every other creature. So that's not that different, but like it's a little flap in the underbelly of the snake that just kind of opens up and then everything gets shoved out at the same time.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that didn't also help with my burning hatred of all things Slither. Assassins of the Grey, punch your brother, problem solved. No, I love my brother to death. I just don't want him to get eaten by his snake. I don't know what it is about snakes. They freak me out. The way that they move is I can't. I just can't. And then there's something about like a snake face that's not as readable as a mammalian face, Like you look into a dog's eyes and you can kind of tell how they're feeling or what's wrong, if there is anything wrong. Like Daphne, she has a tendency to smile, or she can growl and be intimidating that way. Or, if she's super hurt, her pupils are going to dilate. Or if she's, not feeling well, she's going to lay down and not do much. Like, mammals are really easy for me to read because I am a mammal, I think. Snakes, not so much. So I don't think I can trust having a pet snake at all. And this is my justification for why snakes are the worst animals to have. I'm sorry, I'm just super biased about this. Thank you, Evolved Potato, for the donation. Snakes are terrible. Anyone who likes snakes is an idiot. If you keep one as a pet, you need mental help. Okay, to be fair, it was not my brother's idea to get a death noodle. I like it, Daniel Fullman. To get a death noodle as a pet. They were thinking about getting a pet as a couple. Mind you, they've only been together for like less than 6-7 months. And they've been living together for a few months already. So this is very interesting to see how this is all going to work out. It was not his idea to get the python. It was her idea to get the python. He wanted something furry, which good. But he did name her. The snake's name is Joey, after Joey Tribbiani in Friends.
Because your brother thinks he's a snake?
No, he wanted a unisex name because they don't actually know if it's a girl or a boy snake because there's not really a way to tell, apparently. I wouldn't know. I've never actually tried to look for the penis of a snake, all right? I just haven't. So I don't know how it works. It's a scaly scarf. It freaks me out. It freaks me out so much, and I hope that I am moved completely out by the time that he moves back in, because he's still got another 2 years of college, whereas I am graduated and ready to leave. Because I don't want to live in the same roof as a snake. Although, I don't think Dad would let him bring the snake into this household either. Never get a pet that you have to feed something alive to, says Daniel Fullman. I don't think that they actually feed Joey living things. They buy frozen mice at the store, and then they just kind of drop it in her cage, and she goes nuts. But they only have to feed her once a week right now, and it's only that frequent because she's still growing. She's a baby snake. But once she's fully grown, they only feed her once a month. And the reason why is because, 1, cold-blooded reptile. 2, they don't move that often, if at all, and they don't move that fast. And so they don't burn up a lot of calories because, you don't have to maintain body heat and you're not moving a lot. Did you know that snakes and lizards have 2 penises? Spirit Thief says. What? Polly, did you know this?
Nope.
All right, hang on. I don't like where this is. Oh. Yep, that's a penis. I think. Maybe. I can't tell. But I'm not going to show it to be safe. I don't even like images of snakes. That's how bad the phobia is. I can't handle it without getting chills running up and down my spine. On the totem pole of things that you do and don't like, Polly, where is your opinion of snakes?
It depends on the sauce mostly.
What?
What?
Sauce?
Never eaten a snake?
No. Although I would love to. You can get rattlesnake kebabs online. I really want to order some.
Snake's good. Eel's good.
Yeah?
I think.
So you'd like to eat them, but you wouldn't have one for a pet, would you?
No, I don't see the point. It's not because I'm afraid of them. I just don't see the point. It's not like you can take it for a walk. I mean, you could, but you look like an idiot walking down the street and dragging a fucking snake on a rope.
No, you just grab it by the tail and then let it lead you.
You ever seen someone walking a cat?
Yes, actually, we put Cole on a leash every time we have to take him to the vet. It's not easy. He doesn't like it. Daphne is very docile in that respect. She knows how to leash correctly, but Cole does not. And he's sitting right there. You can kind of see him. Here, let me move so you can see the baby. Hi, Cole. You see? He's right there. He's ignoring
see,
me.
this is like that time you made that video. It freaked me out because suddenly a pillow on your bed started moving.
He'll move at some point. we gave him, we had to shave him for this season because it's getting hot.
Well, he's a floofy cat, all right.
He's a domestic long hair. He better be a friggin' floofy cat, otherwise they not misgendered, but they species him.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's this? What am I seeing here?
It's a baby in a jar.
Okay, but why? Wait, no. Is this one of those like My Little Pony jar things?
I don't know, but it's rather satanic. So you got the pentagram here. It's on sale for $666.
Okay, but like nothing else went into the jar except for the baby, right?
Yeah. And also begs the question how they got that baby in there. It doesn't really look like it's big enough. It's like a ship in a bottle kind of thing. Doesn't look like the mouth of the jar is big enough to fit it. Makes me wonder if they constructed this thing inside of the jar, like using tools.
That'd be cool.
And what's up with the feather?
I don't know.
So there's some kind of ritualistic thing going on here. It's very odd. This comes from my folder of tacky.
Are you sure this is tacky? This looks like just, I don't know, someone has it because they want to see if they can do it type things, you know?
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
like a ship in a bottle.
My question looking at this is not so much why is there a baby in a jar and why does it have like occult overtones to it? It's because I don't think that the person who put this together in this way made this baby face and painted it and stuff. I think they got it from somewhere. I'm more concerned with the person who made the baby face originally. Like, why did you paint an angry baby?
Have you never seen an angry baby?
Well, it's not like this. No.
Well, okay, to be fair, yes, this is quite demented, but to be fair, making faces is difficult.
Well, the furrowed brow is probably a really bad call.
Probably. But I mean, like, we have entire museums full of art history of examples of people not getting faces correct because I don't know why. They just didn't. Like, really, really weird looking faces on people. Really, really weird.
Would you like to continue to explore my folder of tacky?
Yes.
All right.
Is that octopus for hair?
She's got a squid here too. And the squid's got a fish.
This looks like something that I would find in my Greek mythology textbooks, though.
Yeah. It does look rather classical.
Yeah.
This is wonderfully tacky, though. I dig it.
What makes this tacky, though? In your opinion?
See, I don't know quite the word. It's
that
tacky.
A Target receipt?
It's
the quarter right there. I think that would make it tacky. No,
it's just Target. The art. It's just the art sale receipt. Come on, let me see if I can get close enough to see it. It went for $256.
Okay, that's tacky. I'd pay $256 for the frame, not for the actual picture.
I mean, tacky's the definition of it, of course, is up in the air. Like it's this folders of is tacky, gaudy, kitsch, bad taste, whatever. Give it a name. I find these things fascinating because it's like somebody made this and then somebody else looked at it and went, I want that. And the whole thing confuses and amuses me. Not all of it's art. A lot of it's just design.
It's creative though. I like
Jesus Christ.
Okay, this is that
this
Prime
Justin
Minister
Trudeau,
Justin Trudeau
horseback, looking smug as he often does,
with blinky lights,
with a starry background on a sweater.
Why though?
Yeah, why? Exactly. Why? Who did this? Who made this? Who wants this? Where did this?
Oh my God. Of all the people in the world to get on a sweater, though, why Justin Trudeau?
Are you sure you haven't seen this one before? The Wolf on the Wall?
That's not real. That's photoshopped.
No, that's real.
No, that's photoshopped.
You don't know how this folder goes, man. Like there's people.
It's photoshopped. This is photoshopped.
Well, can't you see the crease in the wolf? He's clearly put into the back.
No, this is photoshopped.
I love the doily that they put him on.
It's Photoshop, Polly.
Well, you just don't want to accept that something like this might exist in the world.
No, it doesn't exist because of Photoshop. I can see very clearly this is a Photoshop job. The resolution of the wolf does not match the resolution of the bathroom.
You just don't want to admit that something like this could exist.
No,
so,
because it doesn't. It doesn't exist.
You see the toilet seat lid here?
Yeah.
Can you imagine sitting down on the toilet knowing that this thing's behind you?
But it's not, Polly, because it's Photoshop there.
You know, your constant denial just belies your concern.
It's not actually there. See, it doesn't crease. Okay, go back. All
right.
It doesn't crease at the intersection of the wall right here.
Sure, yes, it does.
No. And yes, okay, sure, maybe it creases respective to that corner, but you are missing another separation of wall right next to the front left paw. There is a second.
Oh,
crease.
but it's just I know I see that, but it's just a little
right there. No,
it's just short.
Fake. It's not actually there.
It's like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. There's more than enough wolf to just kind of like stretch over it.
Mm-mm. It's not actually there. It doesn't exist.
Okay, so why did I grab this picture? Let's see. Okay, now wait a minute. So you got obviously here's the toilet, right? So you sit down in this toilet and you got a picture of a naked man in a bathtub behind you and a mannequin of a woman staring at you. Who wants this?
Well, okay, maybe it's not a matter of who wants it. Maybe it's a matter of they don't want to throw these things out, but they have nowhere else to put them, and so they go in the bathroom for now.
I mean, there's some things in here that make sense. I'm curious as to why they've got a collection of old-timey washboards. Like there's 3 of them on the wall.
Some people just collect washboards, Polly. Why you got to be so judgy about it?
Is this a chamber pot?
Yes.
I love that they went through the trouble, like, because this toilet seat looks brand new, and they went through the trouble to get like a brand new wood grain toilet seat to make sure their brass pipes are highly polished in this bathroom.
No, the greatest sin right here is that linoleum. No,
you're not into the linoleum.
I'm not into the linoleum. First off, linoleum itself is a sin against God. Second off, that pattern is tacky as fuck.
And there's all sorts of things hanging. Like you got to wonder what's in this pillowcase.
Let me tell you why this is a bad idea. Okay.
All right.
It's 2 a.m. You wake up. You have a burning desire to pee. Not because you have some sort of genital warts, but because you do. All right. You have to pee. So you wake up in the dark. You don't want to turn on the lights because turning on the lights means sudden blindness for you. And so you are perfectly capable of making your way over to the bathroom in the dark because you've done it many, many a time. Except, someone has taken the liberty of hanging a whole bunch of things up in your bathroom.
Without your knowledge, okay.
Without your knowledge. And so you walk into your bathroom, and immediately you are accosted in the face hole with a whole bunch of things on the ceiling, and you are freaking out because you're like, who's in here with me? Because
that's
you don't
what
expect it.
That's what would do it to me the most is like, because you have to imagine, like, here's the door, right? That's like the hallway's over yonder. So you're walking down the hallway and it's like no matter how many times, this mannequin's going to freak you out every time when you see the silhouette of it at night. Like it's going to be, what the fuck?
Exactly.
Right?
This is what nightlights are for. Yes.
Yeah, this bathroom's just asking for a nightlight. And you see this little plunger down here? That's a sink plunger. You try and use that in the toilet, your hand's getting wet. I'm just saying.
Not only wet, but it's getting grody.
All right.
Can we also acknowledge the fact that hang on, go back. That cabinetry has been shoved into a corner. It is not aligned perpendicularly with the corner. It is
They're not making good use of their space, is what you're saying?
God, no. The economy of space here is all wrong. I am disgusted.
You like the little ceramic kitty?
Yes, I do like that. Also, hang on. Before you continue on, what are the tissues doing up so freaking high? All right,
Yeah,
who's going to be
they're
using
pretty
tissues
far.
that far up?
Yeah.
No, tissues.
Well, they got
go
the toilet
at
paper
hip
down
level.
here.
Tissues and toilet paper go at roughly thigh to hip level. All right, no more, no less.
Weebo, no one is going to exceed to your 5-foot needs. Okay.
Anything else is unacceptable. Okay, that's why I gave you a really nice like width of height to use. All right, thigh.
Yeah, but your hip level's like my knee level. I'm not bending over to get a
mid thigh
tissue.
to hip level. All right, and I'm talking about upper hip, not like the hip that everyone else thinks about when they think about hips.
What? For those quadra hips people?
Yeah.
Are you talking about guns?
No. So when you're talking about hip, like in terms of measuring, I'm pretty sure you're supposed to measure 4 inches down from the belly button.
Right. Okay.
Excuse me. What do you want? Oh, that's what they want. I just got a whole bunch of notifications. Bye. We don't need to pay attention. Sorry, where was I? Oh, yes, I was educating you about proper hip placement on a person.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Oh, look, they got a classic whisk style broom back here. I don't know why. It's like hung by a string on a nail in case you need to like quickly whisk something.
Oh, you know what? Maybe this is actually a museum.
With that bathroom door? No, I think this is somebody's extremely tacky house.
No. Maybe. No. Also, why are there toy cars in the bathroom?
Now, this is what you call a visual cacophony.
Yes, actually. I do
like that's
a visual cacophony. First off,
those suffering from any type of seizure-related disorder should not enter this room or do so with dark sunglasses on.
First off, the sheer amount of dolls in this room, and they are the creepy kind of dolls, is too many. Too many.
You don't like the dolls?
I don't like the dolls. They can go. They can go. Right there
there's
off the bat, you get 20% of your problem right out of there.
It's like I count, if we do a head count, there's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 dolls. Big deal.
No. You're missing the top shelf.
Those aren't dolls. Those are the little glass tubes with their little vases.
Oh, all right. Well, 10 dolls is still entirely too many to have in one person's bedroom because they will look at you in the night. And they will freak you out. So get rid of the dolls first off. That whole
what I find funny about this is that, like, look, they got a TV and it's got a VCR or DVD player, whatever it is. It's pretty tall, so I think it's a VCR. And like this little screen, right? And it's like, come on, you're supposed to sit in this room and focus on this small screen with this visual frenzy going on around you. How the fuck are you going to focus?
Okay, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of going to Chinatown in New York and just going to the little boutique shops in Chinatown in New York and being accosted by walls upon walls of just jam-packed everything that you can possibly think of.
There's I am opposed to the sheer amount of macrame in this room.
That's what that's called.
Yeah, where you do like ropes and beads and shit like that. Yeah, it's called macrame.
There's using economy of space appropriately, and then there's abusing the fuck out of it, and that is what this is.
Okay, hold on for a second here.
Like again, you have a bunch of junk, but why does it have to all be on display?
I can't see what chat's saying, and I want to, so I'm just.
The rug isn't even under the TV stand. Says nowhere, no one. Yes.
I just had to go to the screen that was behind those pictures to pop out chat. I want to pull it over to my other screen so I can see what all the smart asses are saying.
The next 6 minutes says that his art major brain is crying.
Oh yeah, I mean, far as a former art student, I loved sending the pictures for. I was on a kick for like a month of just sending her pictures of tacky bedrooms like that one, and with no context. I would just DM her the picture, and she wouldn't mention it, but I know that she saw it, and I would just keep doing it. And my goal was, I'm just going to keep sending you pictures a couple a day until eventually you break and say, "What the fuck, man?" And she did eventually.
Eventually. Eventually. Oh. I have a picture to send you.
All right.
But first I gotta find it.
Paul Patan's more proof that Polly is the bully and not Far. I should show you the shit that Far DMs me just to screw with my head. It's she is not the fun-loving Aussie girl she comes across as on stream. Trust me, she's got a mean streak. That one.
That's always fun though, when you can be mean and still have friends. All right, I have to go back far to find this picture. Actually, you know what? No, I don't. Fuck that noise. I know where to go. Balik's Discord server has the picture that I'm looking for because I posted it there. It's funny because he called it, he changed the name of the server to, this is a Christian server. And then he thematically adjusted everything accordingly. So I posted it in what used to be the memes section, but is actually called Carvings, Baroques, and Tapestries now. Topical.
Okay.
And here is the image that I wish to show you. Application window. Screenshot.
Hold on, I need to embiggen this.
Embiggen.
Nature is healing. The Holocaust survivors are returning.
Because if you look at the things, the number of Holocaust survivor like almost doubled in 5 years from one article to the next.
Mm-hmm.
That amused me to no end when I saw
that
it.
Seems a little what's the right way to describe it? 6 grillion esque, if you will.
I have a question. How
is it something that'll get your channel shut down? It's
a semantic question. So how would it be historians or statisticians or whatnot? Okay, whoever's in charge of accounting for the survivor numbers of a specific world event that devastated a population, whoever that is in charge of, how do they account for said things? So in the case of the Holocaust, how do they determine the number of people who were survivors of said Holocaust? Because if you're using one definition, technically you could be like, oh, well, everyone who was alive at the time that the Holocaust occurred is a survivor of the Holocaust if they survived after the Holocaust, right? Or you can go extremely limited and only limit it to people who actually existed inside concentration camps as prisoners, as Holocaust survivors, if they survived the Holocaust.
I hear you.
I'm thinking it's the second one more than it's the first one, but I still I would like to know exactly how they determined this for each article, because those are drastically different numbers over 5 years of time, during which you'd think the number would go down, not up, by almost twice. So, like how they count COVID deaths. Yes, I would like to know how they do that as well. Just curious.
Just asking questions here.
Mm-hmm. Do you know, as someone who is historically inclined?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
Useless. Yeah, well, sorry. I have no idea what criteria they're using, and more to the point, who the fuck are they asking? I mean, I have no doubt that numerous historical studies have gone into it. It's just, are you pulling your number from the same group over and over again? Is it the Nuremberg people?
I don't know.
Are they really, really old numbers? Like in terms of like people who during the Nuremberg trials, that like how many Jews are imprisoned, they were able to get a hold of a lot of Nazi records from various places like Auschwitz and Dachau and so forth. But then again, a lot of those records were destroyed. So how do you know? I don't know. It's a good question. I have no idea. Not a World War II historian.
No, but it would be fun to ask. Not fun to ask. There's nothing fun about the Holocaust, she said, well, laughing nervously. No, it would
Daniel
be
Foreman says, if only we had a trained researcher here. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you can't be a fucking researcher of everything, man. Leave me alone.
Actually, you never stop learning, so technically you could be Polly.
I could look into it. I'm just it's just not my ball of wax, man.
Ball of wax? Ew.
My wheelhouse, my area, my
focus.
My focus. It's not currently a member of my research agenda.
Assassins of the Great. Pravda cannot be relied upon to cite accurate data. They would have to request census data from the Israeli government, and that sounds like work. Well, yeah, and we know how people feel about doing actual legitimate work as opposed to just spouting off nonsense because it sounds fun and cool.
Okay, back to the tack.
Yes, okay. Give. Oh, it got worse.
No, it didn't. It's the same fucking room.
No, it got worse. Somehow it got worse.
Yeah, I'll give them this piece of credit. This carpet, I forgot somebody really took issue with this rug, and I can understand why.
I actually like the rug. I don't like it in that room. I also don't like the fact that it's not underneath the TV stand.
I know. This bugs me. It's like, well, we don't want to put a flat into the carpet. And it's like, well, you're putting a flat into the carpet because the wheels of these two racks are putting flats into your little carpet.
You know what? Polly, I have a challenge for you. I want you to Photoshop this image into something that you find pleasant.
Like, put like a hot naked woman standing in the center of the room?
No, you just adjust the room according to your sensibilities.
Oof. It's a lot of work. I mean, look at the mess of this fucking room.
I know. Which is why
you know what this room is missing? One of those stupid little
hula hoop. It's missing a hula hoop.
I was actually thinking one of those ceramic kitties with the arm that goes up and down with the clock in its belly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, it needs one of those.
Is this the new Narbar, says Daniel Fullman.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah.
And Zombie Tastes Starry Night, right? It's like, it's got the same kind of swirlies working. No kidding.
I like the carpet. It's, it's just enough, the colors accent each other well. The pattern is decent and it's appealing to me. I just don't like it with everything else in the room. Because
like I said, I will give them the credit. The peacock feathers do match the carpet.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They do not.
The colors. What the fuck, woman? The colors are the same. What the hell?
Peacock feathers do not have purple in them, and therefore they do not match.
But there's blue and aqua green and the like.
No.
That's all going on up in here.
Never become an interior decorator, okay?
You do not have superior aesthetic senses simply because of your ovaries, all right?
I do actually, though. Want to know why? Because women can see more colors than men.
Oh, God. Anyway, moving on.
And our spatial intelligence is a lot far superior.
Here's Weebo's princess room.
Studies. No.
You have a canopy bed.
That's
the
not
visual
a canopy
evidence
bed.
Is behind you. Well, they're actually, you're right, it's not, but there are upcoming canopy beds in this. Wait a minute. Wait a fucking minute. That's the same carpet.
Is this the same house?
Is this the other side of this room?
Polly, are you double dipping?
It might just be the other angle of this room. What a fucking nightmare. Oh, God. Look at all the hanging cards and stuff. This person lives in a psychotic world.
I will say this. I enjoy the fact that everything has its place. I just don't like that everything needs to be placed. You know? Like, you can do without having your entire life put on display in your room. Put something away, please.
You know what I don't like as a general rule on anything? Fringes.
You don't like fringes?
Now, whether they be on bed sheets or jackets
That's a
or
bed skirt, Polly.
whatever, yo. Whether they be on any manner of bed covering or whether they be on jackets, I don't like fringe frills. Just saying.
I mean, that's a personal preference, but you know what? I can get behind that. In some instances, it's
Oh God, here we go. So now we see the fullness. This is what's going on.
Okay. Ew.
This person has a lot of this pattern of carpet.
That's the same room.
No. This, see the dolls?
Yeah.
This is the first room. And
Yeah.
then this is the second room with the whatever, with the bed. And
See,
now they've pulled back and shown how nightmarish their entire existence is.
Is that the kitchen?
Maybe. You think they got some of this carpet in the kitchen too?
No. You're not supposed to put carpet in the kitchen. If you did that, you'd be a heathen and I'd want to burn down your house and torch it. Like, even the ashes. And I put them in a bottle and sink them to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, Daniel Fullman does have a point. Yeah. I think I'll make an exception for flapper dresses. People need to fuck off with the dream catchers and wind chimes inside.
Where else are you supposed to put dream catchers, Polly? Where do you sleep? As someone who has 4 dream catchers adorning their princess bed right now, I am offended. But I will state that it is another one of those things that I was just gifted and I didn't know what to do with it, so I just put it on display.
I'm just saying, when you actually have to like reach up and go ding, 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 and make the wind chime work, something's wrong is going on.
Well, yeah, wind chimes inside is silly. Don't do that. It's very silly.
So now we've gone very, very woody.
What am I looking at?
Everything's very wooden.
I mean, I like the pattern of the floor. I don't think that the carpet needs to be on top of it. You already have a really decent hardwood floor. Just get rid of the carpet, please.
You know what I think might have happened here?
Huh?
Oh no! Like, look, I mean, this looks like recovered, reclaimed. Well, everything looks recovered and reclaimed, but I thought this was like a dismantled wine rack that they had turned into chairs.
Props for ingenuity, but you get 0 points on interior decorating. Wait, can you zoom in on the tabletop? Is that a curvy pattern I see? I don't like that the color of the chairs do not match the color of the table.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It looks like they've only like half painted these chairs.
I don't like it.
Pete can see an old time seance happening in here.
Yes, I can too. Yeah, wait, hang on. What do you have against dream catchers, Polly?
Other than that they don't work?
Have you tried them?
No, but I haven't tried a tiger repelling amulet either.
Yeah, smarty pants over here.
You know, I'm looking here and I thought, like, are these a bunch of drawers hanging there? And there is, oh no, they're not. They're little curtains. And these are storage shelves with little curtains.
That's actually kind of adorable, and it would be charming if it weren't so obnoxious.
So it's like, you go in there to get, like, I don't know, whatever's in there. You're measuring cups or your playing cards or whatever. So you have to like, opening night reveal them.
Presenting. I don't like it. Ew.
Oh,
what is this?
This is
This stuff from my nightmares. Is that what it is, Polly? Are you trying to give me an aneurysm? Because that's how you give me an aneurysm.
This is a very specific thing. And if the picture that follows is the pullback picture,
is that just
I like the wider angle shot of what's going on here. This is a bathroom sink in a mansion.
Weed and drugs and cocaine.
Yeah, there's all the things in here. There's lots of signs of drug use and alcoholism and a pack of fucking Newports.
This actually gives me anxiety because, like, it just does. I actively avoid situations that are akin to this.
Like I said, this is a very expensive bathroom in a mansion.
Okay, pull it back. I want to see the dirty.
Well, this is like the zoom in of like this is the up close picture of what the sink itself looks like, but the entire bathroom picture is available. I'm just wondering if it's the next image. I don't know.
I hope so. I want to.
So you can. It's actually labeled. This is Whitney Houston's bathroom home in Atlanta from 06.
Whitney Houston needs to get her shit together.
Well, she's dead.
Whitney Houston should have gotten her shit together.
Well, she died of a drug overdose and had been a on again, off again, and severely on again cocaine and crack addict for years.
Right,
and this was
I told you.
And when she was discovered dead, this is one of the not crime scene exactly, death scene photos. That this was the state of her bathroom in her extremely expensive Atlanta mansion. Oh God, yeah. Here's the pullback picture.
Oh God, this is everything I hate about everything ever. This is no. Just
like
no.
She had just been doing a lot of fucking drugs in her bathroom.
Oh my God.
And smoking cigarettes and freebasing, all,
I get the burning desire to take everything on that countertop and just whisk it into a giant trash bag and then take a fire hose and just go ham.
Fire hose?
Yeah.
Pete's like, is that Charlie Sheen's mansion? Oh, Whitney. Well, I was close. It's a tragic picture. And this photograph, or because there were several photographs in this set of pictures, was taken by whomever, and for 40 grand, Kanye West bought it to use for Pusha T's album cover.
I would just like to say something to the people in the chat. If your bathroom looks like this, I am judging you so harshly. So harshly. Okay?
Well, you'd have to be a pretty far gone drug addict for your bathroom to look like this. I mean, holy shit. Like, can you imagine? I mean, if you look at this bathroom, it's like, marble walls and marble countertops and like gold.
Who drinks beer in the bathroom?
It's a good question, but I really think that Budweiser can was really just an ashtray. Like, look at this. I mean, holy fuck, girl, with all of the look at the tinfoil everywhere from all the freebasing. Fuck, woman.
Freebasing?
It's where you put cocaine on one, or it is where you burn cocaine and smoke it, in short.
Okay. See, I know nothing about this world. I am blissfully ignorant, and rightly so, I think. But yeah, when you say you want to look at tacky pictures, that's exactly what I think of when you say you want to look at tacky pictures.
Yeah, well, that's just more like depressing and disturbing that the beautiful, talented woman of Whitney Houston ended up there, and the entire blame is to lay squarely on Bobby Brown's shoulders. He's the one that got her into cocaine and kept it going and burned through all of her money. And motherfucker.
Don't do cocaine, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and he's alive. He's fine.
There's entirely too much red in this picture, and it's made all the worse by the offset of the green in this picture.
I think this is terrible use of animal heads as well, of trophy animals.
Yeah.
It just looks awful
How
in
would
here.
you rather have the animal heads?
I think it needs to be in a more cabin-like setup situation. I mean, this is just fucking terrible. Like, I agree, there's far too much red here. Like, even if I open this up in Photoshop and like desaturate it, it'd still be painful.
Mm-hmm. And it's not just because of the pool table. The pool table I could deal with, but the walls and the couch and even the carpet has like this tinge of warm redness to it that I'm just like, okay, too much. And I say that as someone whose favorite color is red.
Yeah.
It's called
And
complementary colors, Weebo. This is not complimentary at all.
like, I don't know. I don't really want to play pool around all these plastic flowers or plants. I mean, it doesn't look like there's much sun in this room. Those aren't real.
No.
And what's up with the phonograph? I mean, buddy, this person just had stuff and just kind of put it all there, you know?
Okay, I have been guilty of that in the past as well. Because I exist exclusively out of this 10 by 10 square space of room. And so all of my shit has to be in here.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Years of accumulated junk.
I want the phonograph too, number one, nowhere. I just really wouldn't put it in this fucking room. I mean, holy shit. I'm not even opposed to I like wood wall paneling and steel paneling. The issue is not so much like the particulars, it's the combination thereof. And a red felt pool table, really?
It could work. It could work. Just not in that room.
And you know, you're just a jackass when you're giving the bear a fucking racket to hold on to. I mean, or a snowshoe, maybe?
I don't fucking know.
What?
Is it? Oh.
There's your canopy bed. That is a really short bed.
It is a really short bed.
Do you like how they went with the touch of purple with the purple tassel on the fucking handle?
Okay. This room isn't a lost cause. Rip up the carpet, maybe install some hardwood floor on the bottom, get some dark hardwood that matches maybe the fucking dressers, right? And then dress up that get the purple to match, all right? So the purple comforter has to match the purple on the walls, or the walls have to match the purple comforter. You cannot go either way. In addition, get some matching purple pillows for the couch so that they can kind of complement each other a little bit better. And get rid of the frills on the canopy bed.
Yeah, Dan Fulvis says Prince's bedroom, right? Or one of them, anyway. That is, he's also dead, Weebs.
Yes, I know that one.
Oh, okay.
He's dead. He was recently dead, so I was paying attention at that point.
No. Well, it's not like, you know, Whitney Houston died decades ago or something.
Well, she died, like you said, in 2006?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was 8.
I'm just saying, that's not decades ago.
But that's, like, that was more than half my life ago.
All right.
The other thing, too, is the lighting is all wrong in this room. It's too dark.
You don't think that there's a window over here? Looks like there's natural light coming in from the right.
Not enough, though. Not enough for this side of the room. You know, on the left, you need like something to brighten up the room a little bit better. But it's not a lost cause. Also, get rid of that god awful wallpaper.
BG talks about my Funko Pop collection. Can you have a collection of one?
Yes.
You had to think about that. I do have one Funko Pop. It's Luke Skywalker dressed up in his Endor get up, where he's got like the green camo, whatever muumuu, whatever you call that, like poncho that he's wearing.
Nerd.
Well, it was a gift. I got like 4 or 5 things from this girl as like they were all birthday gifts. It was like, here, I got you this and this and this and this. One of them was a bottle of bourbon. One of them was that Funko Pop. She's like, you like Star Wars? And I'm like, well, of all of the Funko Pops I could have, yeah, that one's pretty cool.
Apparently, Whitney Houston died in 2012.
Oh, then why is that picture labeled 06?
I don't know. Maybe because they got a pre-death picture or something.
Yeah, it says Whitney Houston's bathroom at Atlanta home, 2006. Numbers. Maybe that's just a serial number and it wasn't. Okay, so Weebo, how old were you in 2012? Let's explore your ignorance.
14.
You were 14, so Weebo was not aware of things in the world when she was 14.
I wasn't aware of Whitney Houston in 2014. I was, 2014. That was right before. Yeah, I was obsessed with One Direction back then.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. You probably should have kept that to yourself. The mockery shall never end.
I don't care. Polly. I let you guys mock me. I let you in on little things that you can mock me about because I enjoy the attention. All right? That's just how it is. It's fine. Doesn't bother me. I don't care.
Damn. Assassin of the Gray says Obama ordered flags at half staff for that crack whore. Nothing for Chief Petty Officer Chris Kyle. Yeah, whatever. Fuck.
House foreclosure in 06. That's what No One Nowhere is saying.
I
maybe
had thought I understood the lore behind that picture is that was her like death scene, that's the whole point of it. I don't know. I'd have to reevaluate, do a reverse image search for the picture, etc.
Yeah, do your due diligence, Polly. Jeez.
Well, all right. I shall let you guys know in the future what cometh of it.
Okay.
See, this is why you don't let women decorate things, because they're just going to grab stuff like all of these unnecessary pillows, and it's
you don't need that many pillows. I will agree, but that wall paneling has got to go.
Oh, you don't like that? It's not the curtains that got to go, but the wall paneling.
No, the curtains can work so long as maybe you paint the walls a nice white color with an accent of. Yeah, you could do dark wood accents, but that carpet also has got to go. The curtains can stay so long as everything else about the room changes. Although the couch can also stay, I think that it could also work with those curtains so long as the carpet
Have a good night, Angela.
Good night. The carpet went, the paneling went, all of those god awful pillows went, and yeah, everything else about the room. Still, I'm sticking by that. It looks like there should be a hooker pipe on the table. Do you mean a hookah? Is that what you're talking about? What's a hooker pipe? Polly, explain to me.
I think it was hookah, but a hooker pipe would probably just be like a glass crack pipe or meth pipe, which I find funnier. So let's go with hooker pipe. I like that better.
Okay. All right.
It's a hooker pipe.
But yeah, those curtains can definitely work.
Well, let's see. Well, I don't know.
They just don't work in that room.
I think I kind of agree with Lion Patriot. If the 1970s were a room, the only thing that's missing is a bead curtain.
Oh, you say that, and I'm suddenly taken back to when it is that they decorated the cabin in the woods, because it's got some interesting decorative choices.
Yeah, I don't think this is like what the hooker pipe is, and I don't know what these little things are. They're tchotchkes.
Okay, what's the point? Because my mom used to have them too, but like you see off into the left side, there's the little pedestal thing.
This dillery-do over here?
Yeah.
Yeah, with the dove flying off of it.
Yeah, what the fuck is the point of that? Are they just
it's just
display things?
Well, the thing that's ridiculous about this situation is that, like, okay, you see the top platform of this pedestal, right? And they put another one on top of it. Like, you guys are assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, you're supposed to put like a vase or a statue or whatever the fuck on top of this, not another fucking pedestal. That don't make no sense.
Pedestal on top of a pedestal.
Yeah. That's like, you ever been in someone's house and they've got like the TV that works on top of the broken TV?
Oh, this looks like it's gonna be interesting. Okay, can we make a commitment as a people
Wow.
to not engage in god-awful carpeting.
I get the feeling that someone was trying to recreate Tony Montana's office in his mansion from Scarface. Like, look at the tall back chair with the name, like the red velvet and the guy's initials and stuff, and the desk, and oh god.
There's something about this room that just screams stuffy to me. And I think it's because everything is so dark except for the curtains. You know, like the walls are encroaching in on you, the carpeting is coming up from beneath you, and the ceiling's probably painted a nice, like, dark orange color to just really brighten your day. Because the furniture is not bad.
Really?
But it's the, like, that can be salvaged. We can make that work. It's the wood paneling and the carpet that have got to go. And I know I keep saying that, but honestly, those are the two things that you didn't need to install, that you could have lived your entire life without installing and just been fine with.
Hey, Eve. I'm not sure what's up with this chair. I think that red velvet chair and the high-backed gold chair are a pair. I think he's got the same
I think they are too.
initials. I want to know what these big black tubes are back here.
Umbrellas?
Well, they're huge then.
Oh, fuck. And yeah, the bare carpet under the desk.
See, this is clearly somebody's attempt, in my opinion, to make like an office where that like looks a certain way, right? And when you've got gorgeous wood paneling, okay, and a literal wood fireplace, okay, with a nice fucking wood mantle, and this is what you do with it, that is the greatest crime of all.
Okay, here's the other alternative here. You could get rid of the carpet, keep the wood paneling with the wood fireplace, but something would have to change about the furniture.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I'm okay with flags inside homes, but not what you've done with them here.
Yeah, no. Not on either side of your desk chair, where it is that you've obviously made yourself sit upon a throne.
And I'd kind of have to see a more pulled back version of this picture, because you get the idea that there's probably a companion red velvet chair here from the corner. It looks like the arm of another one of these.
Mm-hmm.
Because this table just appears to be sitting in the middle of the room doing nothing.
Yeah, no, there's no purpose there. That can go, or it can get repurposed somewhere else.
And I mean, every time you sit down, your feet are resting on a bear rug. I just don't get it. It's just.
Well, if you ever put your feet in like even faux rugs that are based off of animals, right? It feels really nice on your feet. So I would assume that the bear rug feels nice on the bare feet.
I see what you did there.
Oh my! I didn't even notice I did it. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Well.
There's so much.
There's
so much that I hate about this.
There's so much just going on here. Wow. Imagine walking in someone's kitchen where they're like, hey, let's go grab a cold drink from the fridge or whatever. And you walk into this. Fucking hell.
Ooh, all right. Side tangent. That has to do with the last one. Daniel Fullman asked, Polly, how would you decorate a wood-paneled room?
Minimally.
Mm-hmm.
I am all for the wood-paneled room. Weebo and I have talked about, like, you know, we want offices and we want libraries that have, like, circular niches, like huge circular niches with the ladder for the books that go all the way up to the tall ceiling. Talked about the kind of, you know, I would love to have a study like that, but I mean, you want a tasteful desk that is understated. It's angular, it's simple. You go with the minimalist look, maybe a green banker's lamp upon it, something like that. Yeah, it would. That high back chair, no, get that. I mean, come on, man, you're not Tony Montana. Get that shit out of there.
See, it's funny because my house actually does have a wood paneled room, and it's got a white ceiling with dark wood rafters on top of it, a bookcase installed in the wall, 2 windows, and a stone fireplace. And the way that we decorated it is it's got leather couches in there, one of those nice like patterned rugs, and the TV is in there too. It's a big old thing. So it's minimally decorated, but it's decorated in such a way that it makes more sense. Although it's not going to be decorated like that for long because I'm taking the couches when I leave.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I find odd about this? I'm just looking at this now. These appear to be clear glass pot lids.
No.
Because you can see like right through them, right? And they all appear to have like a center. Like, where are the pots? And why did you put the lids up there like that? It's just a weird choice, man.
I'm not liking the fact that you see that like granite looking circular thing in the middle versus the countertop.
Yeah.
Pattern.
Yeah.
Not digging that contrast. No, thank you.
Oh, a roll top desk? Yeah. Roll top desk could work. Definitely. They've got a definite style to them for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And your cheese grater is perched at an uncomfortable angle here. And what's happened to your cabinet doors? What is like?
What's going on?
Yeah, like is that paint? I don't even understand what I'm looking at.
It looks like that. It looks. It looks like the receiving end of The Shining happened in this room. To the cabinets, that is specifically. Like they saw the business end of an axe.
Is Paula using an XP machine, that viewer? Yeah, I'm using classic Windows Photo Viewer just so I can scroll through stuff in a file quickly. I mean, there's a number of other image viewers that I have, but this is just the simplest and the fastest to launch too. Nope, but I'm running Windows 10.
Personally, I'm not a big fan of the roll top desk. Not gonna lie. Same thing with Nuke censorship. I need like openness, and the roll top desk does not allow for that. Especially with the monitors that I have, with my monitor the size that it is, it wouldn't make sense.
So Nuke censorship said that, poly zoom in. It's like, okay, and upon zooming in, like into where I have, we see that they've got their various prepackaged spices, and each one is sitting in its own little wooden container. Like it's
no.
Do you see that? No. Like little lid top wooden containers, and there's two.
There's no point in having a thing sit inside of a thing inside of another thing on display. I'm sorry, it just does not work. Like, put that shit in a cabinet or put it in the box and be done with it. Do not leave it out.
Is that a meat grinder?
I think so.
And why do you have a birdhouse there?
Because
and it continues. Look, little wooden containers for their little prepackaged spices.
Who hurt them?
Oh shit! Look, they got a mosaic thing working for the.
That's
countertop.
What I was pointing out. I said that. I was like, I don't like the contrast between the countertop and that granite-looking circle thingy. Oh,
I think this is a Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think that turns?
I do.
I still don't like that it doesn't match though, because it draws away or it accents the difference in the countertop with itself. Like it's one or the other, not both.
It's like somebody swung by Michael's and went down like, have you ever been to Michael's and they got like all these do-it-yourself and you're supposed to like shape them and stain them and do stuff with them. And it's like all they did was just buy them and put 2 spices in each one. It's
I don't like it. Do you think they really use those white and black mugs they got hanging there?
Here's Probably. The other angle.
Oh, God. What's the broom doing? And why is it not doing anything?
What broom?
The broom
I don't see it.
Up there on top.
Oh, right. What is with the walls? Like this sort of paint pattern they've put everywhere. It's and what is this?
Decorative.
Is that like red wax just pressed into it. That's what it looks like.
Oh, I thought those were like pine trees or something.
No, they're shiny, so it's like a glass thing. And what's behind that curtain? I don't want to know.
It does not match. It does not. Oh god.
They have a lot of cutting boards.
Well, because you always need a whole bunch of them, especially when all of your countertops are. Oh no! See, the granite is over here too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it continues.
Mm-hmm. I
Then
don't like this.
I don't like any of it. I just find it fascinating that people live in these places. Like, wow, man, why? What's with this odd, irregular patterning of reclaimed stuff that you appear to have gotten from, an estate sale or something?
I need the DIY network to step in on this one, please.
And I love, you see this, like does it go? Yeah, it's as far as it goes over. So they've taken some plywood here. This is obviously laminate plywood, and they've cut it on this angle, and they've left the untreated, unpolished, exposed edge of the granite showing.
I can't. How many more of these are there?
Oh God, this folder goes on forever. Just say when and we'll end it.
I think we need to end my suffering and spend the last 15 minutes palate cleansing with the chat.
Fair enough. Let's bring it to an end, for God's sake.
We'll come back to that at some later date. Oh God. And this is my next favorite segment. Polly and Weebo judge people's living situations. And the one theme that seemed to run consistently throughout the tacky montage of pictures is that they were entirely too cluttered for the most part.
Yes. Clutter seems to be the unifying theme of everything we looked at. Having stuff and not knowing what to do with it and just putting it in there,
Mm-hmm. The granite circle is where they make their pottery with their ghost boyfriend, says Nuke Censorship. I think,
maybe
is that a
that's
reference to Ghost?
It is. Yeah. I've never seen that movie, but I mean, that scene has been just memed and
I've heard about it. I think I saw it too. And I think I heard about it from Community while watching Community. All my cabinets are homemade, but they match, says Brad Young. Well, yeah, of course they gotta match. Interior decorating is not that hard, people. You just gotta make sure that you don't do any of what it is that we just saw. Daniel Fulman asks, Weebo, what is the most surprising thing you learned about running a bar? People are really generous with their petty cash, right? So, and I don't know if this is simply because we're in the middle of a pandemic and everyone feels sorry for those in the service industry who get gypped because the service is just tanked, but people are really generous with their tips. And I also don't know that it's not the fact that I'm a pretty girl with big boobs. So there's that possibility.
I'm curious as to why YouTube recommended, because I popped chat back in to the browser it came out of, and the next recommended video after yours is Destined to Evolve Our Consciousness by Eckhart Tolle. What are you doing with your tags, Weebo? Why has this been recommended to me?
I don't fucking know.
You ain't gonna evolve your consciousness by watching Cocktail Hour, guys. You're just gonna.
Actually, I think that you will evolve your consciousness by watching Cocktail Hour in more ways than one. Let me see. What's my next recommendation? Oh, mine is, why do you have plastic bag car windows?
See, that makes sense though. We were looking at shit where we're like, what the hell? I'm curious what tags you're going to put in this, because we spent a good, I don't know, 45 minutes plus going over people's tacky, gaudy, strange living situations.
That is exactly the tag that I will put in this. Tacky, hashtag gaudy, hashtag living, hashtag situation, hashtag Whitney Houston, hashtag judging harshly.
Hashtag kitsch.
Yes. Hashtag Prince, because he was mentioned.
Oh yes, Prince came up as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes. We're just hitting all of the topical things today, aren't we?
Yeah, let's let me think for a minute. Donald Trump sure is the president. There, Donald Trump. What else?
All right.
Oh, somebody asked earlier about the Chaz, and like the Chaz, they're like they've turned on each other and they're eating each other. And oh man, somebody asked that a long while back, and I just remembered that. Sorry about that. And they said, you know, can you believe that this is still going on? Yes, I can. I'm not surprised at the speed that is degrading, though, which is why from the beginning I said, as long as there wasn't any violence going on in there in any kind of outright manner, because there's just always violence in Seattle. Like, you know, on a standard level. I mean, like if something doesn't, if there isn't some kind of like over the top need to send a massive law enforcement in there, you know, people are like, oh, well, send soldiers in there because they've claimed U.S. territory. It's like, no, I think that that they haven't. And they came out right away. We're not the Chaz, we're the CHOP. We're not, you know, and no, it does. The O doesn't stand for occupying. We're fighting for our rights as American citizens. We haven't separated from America at all, because they realized really quickly how bad of an idea that was and what a stupid thing it was to claim.
Yeah.
My call from the beginning was let it fall in on itself. People said shut off their water and electricity. I said no, because they'll claim it failed because of that. It's like, let this little communist woke mind-blowingly stupid utopia fall in on itself. And other people recommended, oh, shut off their internet access. It's like, no, I want them sending out their, like, I mean, we would not have had their manifesto and their city council and how 12 Asians are worth one Asian vote bullshit. Remember that? You're the one who read it out, Weebo. Like, that was just mind-blowing stupidity. And it's like, if we shut off their internet, we wouldn't have had that. So no, I say let it keep going, because it's not going to last that long. Let it fall in on itself. And in part, it will serve as an example of just how full of shit, disorganized, and what a bunch of, you know, fools, really just silly fools. Like, you know, you want to come up with swear words to describe these people, but no, they're actually just clowns. They're make-believe morons. And
they're basically toddlers pretending, playing.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're communists. No, they're utopians. They don't really believe in, like, they instantly became authoritarian about it. So they're not about a classless society. They established classes immediately. You know, we're your protectors, we're this, we're that. And they immediately split everybody up by racial and sexual orientation and gender identity classes. Like I said, to constantly use the word communist to describe them as they're Marxists, in that they're really into their class identity of the world, but they're airheaded, vapid utopians. We can create a perfect world. How? By doing things perfect. Like, it's all very empty. There isn't much there. It's all just repeating identitarian rhetoric.
Did you see that apparently there was a day that they wanted to kick white people out from like 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.? I saw a flyer for that of the CHOP zone. Specifically, they wanted to kick people out. Because, you know, we're trying to combat racism and segregationist ideals and trying to mend the fences between the warring parties, the whites and the blacks and whatnot.
And
Brad that's Young the best way to do that.
Brad Young is quite correct. The Showbiz Pizza Bear is far better than Chuck E. Cheese. You're absolutely right.
I wouldn't know.
But the rhetoric around it, because there's no admission of anything. You know, idiotic mayor who did nothing and just kind of let it happen. Even if it had descended into violent chaos, she still would have done very little. It would have had to have been the governor that did something, but the governor is along those same lines too, just not quite as vocal in their stupidity. They're far leftist, conciliatory towards anything that is not center. There's got to be far left or no go, right?
It'll be very interesting to see how this all pans out in the election.
Well, yeah, it will, but the way that it gets used will be of interest. I mean, for the right wing, it's obvious. For the Republican campaigns and commercials, it's obvious. Just show the Chaz and Chop as it is. You know what I mean? But for the Democrats, the use of the Chaz and the Chop, the narrative is already forming. It's just a street party. It's a food fair.
It is the summer of love.
Yeah, they've moved right away from the originally like 2 weeks ago. That's how fast this changed. They saw how ineffective it was. And when I say they, I mean the news entertainers and their useful idiots on Twitter all claimed it as a no-go cop zone. This is a no cop zone. They're going to prove that they can run an area without police. It's not necessary. We can defund the police. That was the narrative. It starts falling in on itself, and there's dudes walking around with AR-15s that are acting as cops. They've got a fucking SoundCloud warlord in there. They became authoritarian very quickly, running mafia-style protection rackets on the local businesses and residents that happen to unfortunately reside within their chop zone. And so they turned into, well, no, actually, it's a giant street fair and love and peace. And this is right. Hopefully it'll turn into the summer of love again. The mayor actually had the red hot nerve to say, but I get it. How do you spin it? If it's not an autonomous no-go cop zone, what are we going to say about it? Oh, it was just a street fair. That's why the streets are blocked off, because that's what you do with a street fair. You put up blockades just so people don't get run over when they're standing in a food cart. That's the lie. So it will, for the Democrats, in my opinion, the campaign, how the Chop and the Chaz will be used is just the Republicans even try and make friendly street fairs look evil. They're authoritarians.
Can't wait. Oh, I have so much that I really want to address regarding all of this stuff in video format, but I would have to say it delicately to get my point across as adequately as possible, because it's more nuanced than, anything that I've ever would have had to have put out onto the internet. And so I have to be very careful about how it is that I approach this, because also, you don't want to be cast as a racist because you don't support the movement, right?
True.
Of course, just because I don't support socialism and Marxist anti-communism doesn't mean that I am racist. It just means that I don't support those things. But that is, not the case for certain people. Apparently, I'm the problem because I'm telling people to show compassion for other people. I was in a Twitter feud with somebody over the weekend or last week. And we were going at it because this cop woman was having like an absolute aneurysm because her food was taking a little bit too long for McDonald's to make it. And so she started hyperventilating and freaking out herself a little bit because the narrative has been pushed of like, oh, cops are in danger, cops are hated, cops are going to get spit at, their food's going to get tampered with, they're in danger, they're going to get killed, yada, yada, yada. And you know what? I sympathize with that. Similar to how I sympathize with people who feel like they have something to be of concern about when it comes to cops because that narrative has been pushed on them. They've learned to fear because people have told them they should be afraid. And it's been pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed on them, despite the fact that it's well known that if you don't do anything wrong, chances are you're not going to have to worry. Chances are. Not every time, but overwhelmingly majority of the time, if you do everything right, you're not going to get killed. But I sympathize with both of those aspects of fear, of people being terrified for their lives because a narrative has been pushed to a point where they think that it could be legitimately an issue for their safety that someone would take up arms against them in some respect. I sympathize with both of those parties. You know, the Black lives that feel like they are in danger, even if they're not, and the cops' lives who feel like they are in danger, even if they might not be. I sympathize with both of those. And I made that comparison. And you would have thought that I had personally voted down the Emancipation Proclamation with the rhetoric and the vitriol that I got back. I am part of the problem. I am blind. My telling people to seek out and give compassion to people for their fear and whatnot is bad because that means that I'm mitigating other people's fears. So, like, if I tell you, hey, show compassion for this cop woman who's terrified, doesn't need to be, but is terrified because a whole bunch of people are building this narrative. And in the same breath, it has to do with, you know, Black Lives Matter, whatever. Those same people are going to be like, you're discounting the black and brown people's plights because you are comparing them, you're equating them. And I'm just like, well, yes, because you're both having narratives pushed on you and you're both scared. And fear is a reality, regardless of if it's justified. You can have compassion for people who are terrified. That was my whole point. But no, apparently I am blind and I am part of the problem.
Yeah. Really quick. 4th of July plans, doing any splodies, Daniel Fulman asks. Always. Yeah, I'm going to celebrate the 4th of July. And this year, I'm looking forward to seeing all the news entertainers cover it as the 4th of July should really be recast as America's Day of Atonement and national shame. Like, oh, fuck off.
Evil Potato says the woman complaining about McDonald's wasn't a cop. She just said that. Oh, if she wasn't a cop, then that makes things different. I was under the assumption that she was a cop. That was my impression that I got from that video.
I can see Weebo firing the first shot on Fort Sumter. Yeah.
Really? What? Okay. All right.
Don't know your Civil War history. That's what started the Civil War. Those were the first shots.
Yeah, you could see me firing the first shot at Fort Sumter, issuing a war.
Well, they wouldn't turn it over. Let's see.
Anyway.
Weebo, the accelerationist. Yeah, they tore down a statue of George Washington in Portland. Yeah. And Francis Scott Key.
And Ulysses S. Grant.
Yeah. In a park in San Francisco. It's none of these things are surprising, especially the locations where they're happening. And I extremely vividly, clearly remember the news entertainers openly mocking Donald Trump when he said, you know, you're going to tear down statues of Confederate generals and just Confederate soldiers in general. You know, who's next? Thomas Jefferson and George Washington. And they openly mocked him for that. See, everything's so extreme with this president. Blah, 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 blah. And now they're cheering it on. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. I'm sorry, we won't have to do it on your channel, but, you know, I'll do it on my own too. So whatever.
You go right ahead.
The conversation, the statement is always, we need to have an open and honest conversation, and we can't talk about these things. And it's like, it was 100 activists, for example, that tore down the Francis Scott Key and Ulysses S. Grant statues. These are the people that are doing it. It's a small group of activists, and cops not stopping them because the mayor's telling them to stand down. So it's political leaders that are okay with public vandalism that's really activism. You know, it's both. It's activism and vandalism and destruction and attempting a cultural revolution, like a la China cultural revolution. Mm-hmm. So you're attempting to tear down history and then something better, because we need to, like, we are not going to put up statues of racists. Francis Scott Key, slave owner, absolutely not, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. We're going to have that open and honest conversation about the victimized Muslims in the country and Donald Trump's Muslim ban. Okay, we need to have an open and honest conversation about 1,300 years of Islamic African slave trading. We need to have a talk an open and honest conversation, then we need to talk about how the founder of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad himself, was an African slave owner, slave trader, and conquester. If we're not going to do that, we're not going to say that the very founder of that religion was a slave owner. So therefore, all the mosques and all the Qurans need to go, right? Isn't that the reasoning? Oh, well, no, but that's not American, so it's different. But we have followers in our House of Representatives of this slave trader, this slave owner. Ilhan Omar, Tlaib. The list goes on. Are these people not supporting owning slaves? 1,300 years of African slave trading? I mean, the open and honest conversation is a fucking lie. It's casting America and Americans and founding fathers in the worst light possible for a given goal, to make America sound as bad as possible. Well, you just don't want to know that these things are going on. One of the creator of the 1619 Project, I saw somebody respond to one of her tweets saying, these white men are just mad at you because you told them that Santa Claus ain't real.
I have a question.
Okay.
So, if the standard for toppling a statue has to be that that person owned a slave, then you topple the statue. But if it's a person who freed slaves, the idea is that you don't topple that statue because they were anti-slavery. So what about George Washington, who inherited slaves but freed his slaves?
I hear you. And General Washington is, a giant to me. I'm a great admirer of the man, warts and all. That it makes him all the more human, his failings and his flaws, whether they be personal, moral, religious, or military or otherwise. He had unbounded success and ridiculous amounts of failure. I love John Adams' quotes about Washington. We were blessed to have him and lucky to have survived him. He's an extremely human guy, full of all of the things. But you're right. If that's the standard, then why Washington? But if that's the standard, why are you defacing and beheading Lincoln statues?
It's not the standard because obviously we know that they have not been adhering to just singularly all slave owners. It's Ulysses S. Grant, the Union general who fought against the South during the Civil War. Abolitionists themselves, who were abolitionists 20 or 30 years before the abolition of slavery in the United States. Like, it's everyone completely. No one is safe. No one who has a representative example of themselves in the United States is safe. Apparently. Because
it's the standard is, truth be told, like it's all just anti-white, anti-American in general. There's playing identitarian games and we want to destroy the past for what are actually very, very vague reasons. It's the only thing that's like, why attack Lincoln as well? Because he's, just Americana. They're attacking Americana in general. And because Donald Trump, president of the United States, talked about prohibiting travel and visas and so forth from 7 Muslim countries. This amounts to a Muslim ban. News entertainers repeat over and over again, he attempted a Muslim ban, like, of all of them. And it's a ridiculous lie. It doesn't fucking matter. They're all, like I said, they're attempting, that's why I call them news entertainers. They're attempting to come up with the most dramatic, sensationalist version of events that they possibly can to sell commercial time. It is that fucking cynical. And yes, I believe ideology is in the mix, but first and foremost, self-promotion and turning themselves into quasi-celebrities is the main goal.
How long till they go after the Statue of Liberty? I'd like to see them try to fucking topple that monolith. Fuck. It's a big boy. Good luck.
And more than that, there simply aren't enough of them. When you see the statues being taken down, you see the people that are doing it. And, there's the video that Weebo and I are going to record that relates directly to this. And then another video that I've got on the go that's going to talk about the difference between what they're doing and seeing themselves as like revolutionaries and what they think they're achieving versus like really how lame it is what they're achieving. It's like, we're going to tear down American history and we're going to trumpet the 1619 project. And really is, we need to look at America for what it really is. I am all for looking at America as what it really is in terms of its history, like failures and all failures to live up to its so-called ideals. Yeah. But at least we have those ideals. And there are numerous times where we have absolutely lived up to those ideals, but there is a pretend that they're not. And that is the obvious game here. It is a negative narrative. Holy. Like, I mean, the 1619 Project puts out a summary essay where they say the point and purpose of the American Revolution was to maintain the African slave trade. And when the reaction from that, from historians who are actually on their side, was like, Jesus Christ, no, it wasn't. That is so far off that they had to issue a retraction. And now they pretend that it never happened. I was like, oh, this was quality journalism. You didn't overreach. Like your entire project is nothing but a giant overreach and an attempt to lambast and piss all over American history as much as possible. And that's why that tweet stood out to me. Just, you told these white men that Santa Claus ain't real, as if we, quote, believed in a fantasy this whole time. And 1619 and all of the people that are tearing down statues are just bursting the bubble. If you want to believe that, go ahead. But what I see is the inability to see anything fucking positive. This is a wholly negative thing where they are the high moral actors for doing little more than saying America bad, but unwilling to point out that the holy prophet, the messenger of God himself, was a slave trader of black people over and over again. And the apologetics that are made for it are disgusting. American slavery is worse. That's chattel slavery. That's not what was going on. It's like, well, can we talk about the common practice of fucking castrating African slaves then? Because that wasn't part of chattel slavery. But the history of Islam is horrifying. It's full of nightmarish things. But yet all they can talk about is what? Like Christianity and how it founded America and the Crusades. That becomes the focus. The goal and their motivation is so transparent as to be like virtually like air. It's so obvious and thin. You can see right through it. And they all go along with it and pretend like that's not what they're doing.
The big issue that I have with this, the biggest issue that I have with this, to be quite frank, is the idea that we're hyper-focusing on a history that took place 200 years ago, when in fact contemporary slavery touches the lives of more people today than it ever did in the entirety existence of American slavery as it was. Like, we have a slavery problem today in the modern day. No one's fucking talking about it, but everyone's talking about slavery, but no one's actually doing jack diddly squat about people that are actually currently enslaved.
There are not over 6 million slaves in the Middle East right now in Qatar, because that's not the word that they use. So therefore, they're not. And all of the activists don't need to care. All of the feminists who line up with Islam and say that you're oppressing these people, Islam is actually patriarchal. And there are untold amount of Islamic nations where women are literal second-class citizens. Not second-class citizens in the way that
economically speaking,
like cat calls, and there aren't enough women CEOs are viewed as women or second-class citizens, as opposed to you can't go outside without being escorted by your nearest male relative, like actual patriarchy, actual subjugation. And they have nothing to say. As a matter of fact, they go further. They support and defend it. It is the weirdest set of bedfellows ever. And the only thing that they have in common is their enemy, who's generally the West and white men. Like, oh, shut up. If Twitter wasn't promoting this and shadow banning and pushing down any voices to the contrary, if news entertainers weren't promoting this and pushing down any views to the contrary, none of this would be popularized as much as it is. If it wasn't for Marxist professors and identitarian politics professors pushing these ideas and removing any kind of commentary to the contrary, none of this would be happening. It's actually a small group of people that are able to control the messaging, whether it be on campuses or in Washington, D.C. and New York journalism broadcasters and controllers. I mean, if one like think about the actual small amount of people that are involved in journalism between DC, LA, and New York, and then in Tech Valley, it's like what 50,000 people. That's it. Like in grand total, and they control the messaging entirely.
All right, Polly.
Yes.
It is 11:45. Almost.
Weebo's about to turn into a pumpkin, everyone. We've got to end the show.
Yeah, we gotta. Otherwise, you guys are gonna see me turn into a pumpkin. We can't have that. That would ruin the illusion of you guys knowing me as a trap. Anyway, all right. So we will see you guys next Saturday at the original time that this is usually supposed to go up. So at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you to all who decided to come out tonight and watch us ramble on and on and on about tacky interior decorating and then closing out with the statue conversation. Thank you to those who donated. You guys are benefactors, and we appreciate you a great deal. Thank you to those who liked, commented, shared, and subscribed to the channels, both myself and Polly's, and who followed us on Twitter as well. Thank you very much. We dearly appreciate all of your contributions to our success on the platform. Polly, do you have anything you want to add? Chill, whatever.
Well, I will. First and foremost, are we actually starting next week switching to Saturdays? Is that the thing?
I thought so. Was that not? Did I not ask to do that next? Like, because I will be working Sundays.
Chat.
Was I not clear?
I said, and I have just forgotten. I've been drinking.
Oh, okay, that's fair. See, when I said, can we start streaming on Saturdays, I meant like from today onwards.
No, that's, as far as I know, that's fine with me. Although on occasion, because Friday, Saturday nights is,
Yeah, that's fine.
Lady friends and so forth. So it might have to.
That's fine.
Might have to reorganize some things.
That's
but
okay.
No, but yeah. So Saturday night, same time.
Yeah,
is what we're saying. Okay, cool.
Ideally. Unless you need to change it, in which case just let me know and I will adjust accordingly. Just you have to give me 48 hours notice.
Fair enough. And there you see the link to my channel, and go over there and see all the fun stuff that happens. Yay!
Wow, I'm like super tired. Thank you everybody, and we will see you when we see you next. I don't know what I'm gonna have coming out this week, but it'll be interesting. I promise you that. Until then, toodaloo, and I'll see you when I see you.
Have a good night, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you for the donation.